Welcome back. Yes, we're turning our attention to some of what you've just seen, the images there, but we do have two gentlemen here with us to shed light on what is going on in that area, which they'll tell us. We've got on my immediate right, Dr. Marvel Dekil, who is the project coordinator of Ogoni Cleanup, also known as the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP. And then sitting right beside him is Dr. Innocent Bariko, who's the president of Kagote. Kagote happens to be the apex socio-cultural organization of Ogoni people, which is made up of Kana, Gokana, Tai, and Eleme LGAs. Yeah. These are the 4 local governments?
Yeah, 4 local governments.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on today.
Thank you, viewers.
Well, yes, indeed. Ever since our UNEP report, which it was called UNEP reports eventually, there's been a lot of expectation. Of course, naturally, you understand that people will expect that by now they would have gone so very far. Yes, you're doing the job, but let me start with Dr. Dekil. Are you impressed with what's going on? Pardon me, Dr. Bariko. Are you impressed with what you've seen so far?
Yeah, first and foremost, we, as Kagote, we are grateful to the administration of President Buhari for the remediation program. This is so because this program had been on for quite some time, and we had thought that other governments would have taken that. So we are particularly grateful to the government. We thank the president for this decision. So far, it's important to say that the program has gone on reasonably well, but it's slow. We can say that it's slow.
Reasonably well, but it's slow.
Yes, it's slow. And we are speaking, I'm speaking from the perspective of Kagote and the feelings of our people.
So you think it can be faster?
I think it can be faster. And that's also why, as president of Kagote, we are setting up some machinery to work with HYPREP, to see how we can understand what they are doing, and to see how we can help to fast-track that process. Because the truth is this.
What do you think could have been done faster? Sorry.
Well, in terms of, this is the feeling of the people. And I think that there are things that were identified in the UNEP report.
Such as?
Like the livelihood program, which we know what they are also working on. We also know that there is also the sensitization program needs to, because again, in some local government, I think that the sensitization is what is driving the process low. In Tai and places like Eleme, the program is moving reasonably well. In places like Gokana, it is slow, and we think that there could be something could be done to create a more robust sensitization program in these areas. It will help to fast-track the process. Because what are those challenges? The challenges are human challenges. The fact that you want to go to sites and people are obstructing and all that and all that. And these are the kinds of challenges we are talking about. They are human, and they can be addressed. And so if we partner with organizations and we have interest in ensuring that HYPREP succeeds.
Have you partnered with them?
We are working with them. And that's why we have our committees that is trying to interface with them to see some of these areas. So we are very committed to ensuring that HYPREP is successful.
Can this job be faster?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I want to first start by stating clearly the mandate of HYPREP, which is to remediate impacted sites across Ogoni land as defined by the UNEP report. And I'm also very pleased that I'm speaking to you. We have 21 sites opened across the 4 local government areas. Active work is going on. And so for us to comment on what people think, the first thing we try to let people understand is to align their expectations to the actual deliverables of the project, because that seems to be the problem, where people are expecting what is not our mandate. The general notion in the area is that HYPREP has a responsibility to provide water, provide jobs, build roads, build hospitals, and all of that. That is the general expectation, which are developmental issues in these areas. But is that our mandate? Answer is no.
No, but I thought that there was a point where that was mentioned, that HYPREP was going to work.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. There are things we are doing beyond those. But our primary mandate, the very reason UNEP came to Ogoniland and to do an assessment, was environmental. There were impacted sites that needed to be verified. UNEP came and said, yes, these places are contaminated. and need to be remediated. And that is primarily our mandate. In course of doing that, few communities, they noticed that water was an issue. Those few communities with designated coordinates were identified for water to be provided. We've since started that, okay? We are on course of that. When it comes to engagement with the community, we carry on massive sensitization campaign. We've been talking to different groups. We've been talking to MOSOP. In fact, on the Governing Council of HYPREP, we have the Ogoni community represented, both at the Board of Trustees as well as on the Governing Council. So we cannot talk about the community not being involved where there is obvious representation, even at the policy-making level. But the good news is that we have 21 sites open as I speak to you, carrying out remediation work, which is our primary mandate, and an additional 36 within the next 2 weeks will be added. So we're talking about 57 sites opened. By the way, it's important to note that report was submitted in 2011. So between 2011 and 2020, nothing was done until 2017 when President Muhammadu Buhari came to power. So what is happening is, as a result, the successes we are recording in the remediation work is as a result of the political will of the president, the commitment of the president to his promise to the Guni people that he will implement this. And we are on course doing exactly that. So where do we have the challenges? We have challenges with community and a whole wide gap in expectation of what we should be doing and what the community think we should be doing. When he says things are slow, we need to understand what remediation is. Remediation is actually a slow, natural process of correcting the ills, correcting the damage that has been done in the environment. When you're using biological methods, which is a natural method to do remediation, you should be expecting results within 6 months, 1 year, some cases 2 years. So we just started this, and then the expectation is that it is slow because they are used to what used to be done previously. And what was that? What was that is that before now, when there is an oil spill, the next day you will see a tractor, a bulldozer on site, and they are scooping this thing and covering up with some new earth, and they say, we've done it. Now, we've come to redefine the way that is done. We've come to give remediation the proper way it should be done as it's done around the world. So we are redefining the way remediation is ever been done in this country. And just to add this very important point, this is the first time remediation has been done in the history of the existence of Nigeria. So over 50 years of oil pollution, this is the first time any government that existed in Nigeria has done one. And this is the largest remediation work that's ever been carried out by any government currently in the world.
But perception is reality. As far as they are concerned, it is too slow. What kind of interface are you having with them to persuade them or to get them to understand that your work is the proper way to be done, albeit slow?
I recently was at a civil society event in Abuja. And there were chiefs from all the impacted community. Most of them were in that civil society. And these questions came to me. They were asking, why are you not talking to the community? And I asked that, how many community chiefs are here? Is there any community chief in an impacted community that we have not been as HYPREP? And not all of them said we've been there. So we've been to all impacted community. We've sensitized the women, we've sensitized the youth, we've sensitized the CDC, we've sensitized the primary ruler. We scaled it up to the local government level. All the 4 local government chairmen, we've done town hall meetings with them. We recently did what they call the livelihood training program, where we had thousands and thousands of women sensitized. We carried out medical outreach programs where we dealt with 20,000 patients, 400 surgeries. So in terms of sensitization, there is nobody in Ogoni land who does not know that HYPREP is working. The difference is, where are we working? Most people think that this remediation was to be happening everywhere in Ogoni land, which is wrong, because we have designated places where this is happening.
Yes, I think that it's important to streamline to say that we are not saying that this program is not working. But what we are saying is that the perception, and as the president of Kagote, we are willing to work to advance the course of the program because it's important to all of us. We are stakeholders. We are multi-party. So whatever are the issues, the challenges, we are willing to work with the organization to ensure that we achieve results. And it's a multi-stakeholder arrangement to be able to achieve some of these things. The issues of livelihood, the issues of employment at various contracting sites are issues that we are grateful that they are methodically being followed. But we also think that If we work together, we can achieve more results at this area. There are a lot of issues that we can still handle at the level of both livelihood. There are other recommendations of the UNEP. We talked about register of health. Those aspects have not been implemented. We have issues on the aspect of following up, monitoring of programs, the emergency projects like water, the emergency projects. We expect these projects to come on. We do not feel that these are things that we will not participate or collaborate with the organization. So as an apex sociocultural organization of our people, we are very, very willing. We are there to work with HYPREP. And we are indeed doing that by ensuring that our various committees try to ensure that they multiply the stakeholding positions and ensure that people
Before
are
we get into
the
respond to some of those things you say that should be done, the health and the rest of that.
Emergency programs.
Yeah, but when he says that, that they've been to different communities and those leaders, are those leaders living up to expectation? Because if people are saying, look, this is slow, and the leaders know they've been spoken to by HYPREP, explained to in terms of how the procedure works, it comes across as though they're not reaching out to the people to tell them, look, this is what we've been told by HYPREP.
No, HYPREP is also doing its bits. You understand? One of the challenges we have.
I mean, the traditional leaders who HYPREP have spoken to, are they reaching out to the people, letting them understand the process so they can deviate from what he said they used to doing before?
And that's where we are also coming in. Because we have also understood that from the point of view of HYPREP. We are also coming in.
When you say we, who are we?
Kagote and other civil society organizations, we try to also talk with them to ensure that they understand, because this program is very important to us. It's important to our people, and we want it to succeed. In as much as HYPREP is doing it, we also have a stake. So we feel that people should also
don't answer the question that he's asking.
Yes.
The traditional rulers, are they percolating the information that HYPREP is giving to the traditional rulers down to the people and to your other constituents?
Yes, they are percolating. We cannot say they are not percolating the views down. But we are also living in a society
where then does the confusion come where he says that from time to time he gets asked the same question about people not being sensitized? If the traditional rulers are doing their job.
Some of those issues sometimes are beyond them. For example, there's a land issue. There's a program on a land. Somebody wants to get a contractor wants to use this land for remediation, getting off soil. You find somebody coming because they want to benefit. They raise issues. Now, because they raise issues, absolutely that begins to affect timing of projects. You need to begin to attend to these issues before you can get into the site and make sure that work goes on. So these are issues that are not totally even within the control of HYPREP, but they are issues that have been sensitized to traditional rulers. But the interest of people, they are mainly farmers and fishermen. Their interest. This land is mine. I'm going to lose this land. I'm not going to farm on this land this year. And they are telling me, I should not do this. There are issues that we will resolve with time, but there are also issues that cause part of the challenge.
Now,
they are resolvable.
HYPREP, from what he has said, says that the interface with various other stakeholders, like your organization and all of that. Are you comfortable with the kind of interface that HYPREP is having with other non-governmental organizations in the environment? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, reasonably comfortable, but we can do more, because the more the stakeholding, the better for all of us. The more the stakeholding, the better for all of us. In the sense that if we are all on the field talking to these people, trying to let them understand that it's important that we have this project, it's important that the various phases are completed and all that, in order to ensure that funding goes on and on, you discover that you have a better environment for work to go on. Okay. So I think that we are not here to say that HYPREP is not doing its best, it's doing its best, but we also need to complement. And as elite organizations,
is this a problem of HYPREP not recognizing Kagote or?
No, it's not about recognizing Kagote. We are partners in progress. Okay. This must be clearly understood.
Well, thank you again. For every opportunity I have like this, I think it's it's a consensus building process. What do we want as a project? We want to succeed. Who are we doing this project for? We're doing it for the community. We're doing it for the leaders. We're doing it for the local population. So when we come into a place and we want to access land and the community says, no, you cannot come here. You will need to pay us. You will need to, I'm the owner of this land. Community A says they are the owner. Community B says they are the owner. And then they go to court and include HYPREP as part of this suit. And we ask them, why are you including us? We're just here to solve your problem, to clean your land, and you guys can go to court, finish your case, and inherit a clean land. Why are you including us? You say you're the chief of this community. You're the chief of this community. You say, no, we are not interested in this too. We just want to clean this land, and whoever is the chief of this place will be chief of a clean land. How is that a problem to leadership of the community? And so we need to be engaging more with leaders like Kagote, like most of which I told you. Both of these people are represented on both our governing board as well as on the governing council, of HYPREP. Right. What do we want from them? We want them to talk to the people for them to understand that access to this site should be unfettered. We don't need restrictions. And truly, there is a site we handed over in January 2019. We are just mobilizing to that site a couple of weeks back because the two communities are at war as to who owns what, who will give us community leadership. And these things have led to what he's describing as slow pace.
So when
slow pace that is occasioned by local problems that they can deal with. And we would like to engage with people like himself, people like Mosop, people like all the civil society groups, right, which we have brought this to their knowledge. We need to move a lot faster by this than we're going.
Now, speaking of the sites, you mentioned earlier that 36 new sites are meant to be brought on stream. When will that happen?
That is, the Honorable Minister is going to be in Port Harcourt next week, and these sites will be done that soon.
Next week.
That's soon.
So I wanted to also bring up the issue of funding, because people would say, this is a major, this is a capital-intensive project. It's meant to go between 25 and 30 years, I believe. Yeah. Right. So do you have an issue with funding?
Not at all. First of all, UNEP made a budget of what is going to be needed. And the government gave a commitment by bringing in the JV partners. So the funding we get is provided by the JV partners. And all of these monies is being held by the structure of HYPREP is this. We have a board of trustees that receive those funds and manage the funds. We have the governing council that approve the policies. And then we have a project coordination office that carries out the activities. That is the office that I head. Now, these monies are held with the board of trustees. And we access the money as we generate activities. So all the activities for the year, for the budget, approved, and we are working. That's why we could do the first 21 sites, and that we are now adding 36 more sites. Funding is not an issue.
The reason I ask is there's this message from someone who says that, please, the unreleased funds to contractors at various lots in Eleme and other parts of Ogoni are stalling the cleanup process. This person goes on to say he was at Olode Lot 3 and 8, and that's as at 24th of January, and that work was not going on. And when he asked, that he was told that there were no funds from HYPREP.
Well, that is an inaccurate report. You see, a lot of people who are talking do not even have access to HYPREP, or neither have they approached us. Somebody from a civil society group called me the other day. So, we just finished some site inspection of sites in Eleme and where they have been, and they want to do a report. We should discuss with them how they're going to air it. Sorry, how are you going to be able to get the facts about a project if you're not working with us? The first thing we expect these people to do, write to us. We have a process of engaging with such, and we'll take you to the site. We're just in the process of concluding with your own team, your own team to come to site and see things for yourself. So that reports like this, when you receive them, you're able to evaluate them and know what to discard.
All right, we'll go to break now, but we'll be back and just get your concluding thoughts on this matter. Stay with us. Welcome back. Well, Dr. Bariko, do you think that at least having heard some of the submissions that he's made, that the leaders there have a lot more responsibility to let the people know that, look, this is what's going on, and so perhaps maybe we should let me ask you, do you still think it's slow, having heard this?
Yeah, I was talking about the perception of my people. I wasn't talking about myself, knowing what the HYPREP is doing. But it's important to say that moving forward, it's important to say that HYPREP needs to be funded. It
Needs
is
to be
also
funded.
yes.
You
It's
just
also
said
important.
that-
It's also important because I'm closing.
Is there a
to-
problem with funds?
they should be funded. Again, HYPREP should also take into cognizance the interests of our various communities. It's very key.
In what way?
Communities in projects they should make sure that communities, their interests and whatever they want in their projects should be taken care of. It's also important to highlight at this point that HYPREP at this moment will look like a goodwill program of the Buhari administration, but we need to legislate. This institution needs to be legislated upon so that we can give life to it. Remember, today is about Ogoni, but tomorrow it will be Niger Delta. This will move.
What do you mean
it will
should
move
be legislated upon? What specifically?
as an institution. So that because what you are having as HYPREP today,
But
tomorrow it will move.
if I
and
understand
cover
properly, they have the Ministry of Environment, they have civil servants, they have all of those
institutionalized in
procedures.
terms of laws. That is what I mean. So that it can move. After now, it will not be Ogoni. It may move to other aspects of Niger Delta in terms of cleanup. So that people begin to see that this is a Niger Delta issue. It's not just an Ogoni issue. It is important. I think these are key issues that we would like to emphasize. And if we don't do that, it will look as if... but I want to assure you that as leaders, we are working with HYPREP. We'll continue to do so.
In addition to your response, could you also respond to, he did mention that there are some health facilities that they expect to be done which have not been done. So,
Well, these are some of the perception matters I'm talking about. We have a health study program, and that health study, what's the purpose? The purpose is to link diseases in the environment, in the locality to oil pollution. It is a study that is being done. We recently had a joint team from the United Nations that, along with the Rivers State Minister of Health, we did a facility assessment, both personnel and facility assessment in the area. As a first step, we did the initial outreach, which was the data gathering aspect of the project. We are continuing on that. So it's not just a register, it goes beyond that, and it's a comprehensive thing which we've started in partnership with the Rivers State, with the University of Port Harcourt, as well as with the United Nations system. But this is what I have to say about HYPREP. HYPREP is a national project, but we're implementing the report of the United Nations Ogoni Land. Yeah. So actually what we are doing is a template that will be rolled across the rest of the region. So the cleanup of Ogoni Land is actually the beginning of the cleanup of the rest of the Niger Delta. So that's being said. HYPREP is also giving so much back to the community. I want to add that I'm from Ogoni. Every site that we open, we're currently employing about 35 Ogoni people. So we're talking about 1,000 people employed both in the offices as well as on site. As we speak, we're adding 36 more sites. At 36 times 35, that is how many more we are going to be adding. Okay. So we're generating jobs for the community, and this is a project that we have also been doing to groom manpower. 90% of the high-level scientific workforce of HYPREP are indigenous.
Very quickly, because we need to close now. Is there a plan by HYPREP to own land after the cleanup?
We have no plan. Okay. The land is for the Ogoni people.
Okay, now, why should there be this slowness? Is there anything you can do to ensure that these people do not go back and hinder HYPREP from speeding up the process? Because from what he has said, the people are the ones responsible for the slowness.
Yeah, we will continue to engage them, and that's the point we made. We'll continue to engage them and enlarge the stakeholder participation. Is key to ensuring that we're able to resolve these problems. So as Kagote, we have set up several committees, knowing that this is critical to the life of our people.
So no one will hinder HYPREP from going to site any longer?
That is what we are working on. Okay. And we want to assure HYPREP and the government that this is what we are doing, and will continue to do so.
Okay. All right, then Dr. Marvin Dekil is the project coordinator, Ogoni Cleanup, also known as HYPREP. And then Dr. Innocent Bariko is the president of Kagote. He is also, I think he's an indigent, so he should be, by that right, he's a member too. He's representing him in Kagote as well. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on today.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
One more thing, guys. One more thing.
Just one more thing.
Oh, don't we? Okay, there you go.
We are warning the suspended national chairman. If he continues with his activities in Edo State, I will show him that I am the governor of Edo State. while he was governor, he will not tolerate a fraction of the misdemeanors and misbehavior he's undertaking today.
Well, that's the show this week. We thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
I'm Kaido Kikyodo.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Have a fabulous Friday.